my friend Fiifi Kwetey has been making big announcements. Fiifi Kwetey, the General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress. Uncle Fi, how are you? Fiifi Kwetey has been making big announcements, and I'm excited about it because I've been talking to friends of mine about this announcement that Fiifi Kwetey made today. And they called me wondering how I knew that Fiifi Kwetey was going to make that announcement. I didn't know it was going to be in January, but I'm guessing that their PR took the position that the MPP has been covered for the last 3 weeks. And in politics, that's very interesting, and we always used to talk about that. If you have your opponent being covered for the last 3 weeks towards their Congress, you get the people thinking about them. So I guess that the PR decided that Fiifi Kwetey should hold a press conference today, just so that you can have a balance of NDC conversation, NDC internal democracy, and that kind of thing. So it's a right PR decision. But I'm going to tell you the details of what's Fiifi Kwetey, the meaning of what he said. Because I have been talking to people that, listen, when 2026 comes, this is what Fiifi Kwetey and Asiedu Nketiah are going to do. And they are doing it against this person, against that person, in favor of this person, in favor of that person. So I'm going to tell you about that. By the way, I got a call this evening. What time was it? I think it was around 4 o'clock and my phone was ringing. The name on it was Kwesi Pratt. I said, wow. So I picked the call. Kwesi Pratt started by saying, Paul, you are doing this thing again. I said, oh, Ambassador, what have I done? He said, stop calling me Ambassador. And I said, but you and I are ambassadors of the Cuban Revolution. Then we all laughed. Then he said, why did I go on TV, which is here, to come and say that he's the one behind the Nkrumah, Kwame Nkrumah hospital, did I say hospital? Airports thing. And I said, oh, Ambassador, I spoke to the people. They said you were behind. He said I should mention their names. I said, but I can't. And then we had a nice conversation. So he's invited me to the Socialist Forum on the 24th of February, where they will be celebrating, I believe, the 60 years of the coup that overthrew Nkrumah. I begged him that I wanted to speak, but he said, no, I can't speak on that forum, and I can understand that. He said, that's their forum, and I'm speaking against. The motion is that the coup was bad. I want to speak in favor of the coup. So he said that I can't speak, but I can come on Alaji and Alaji, which is a great program on Pan-African TV, Kwesi Pratt TV, that I'll be joining sometime on Saturdays to express my right-wing views on a heavy left-wing program. So that's coming up. Okay, that's just a short announcement for you about my conversation with Kwesi Pratt. Let me come back to Fiifi Kwetey. All right, let's look at the video of what the Honorable General Secretary of the NDC said today at his press conference.
Now, National Executive Committee approved eligibility provisions. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, pursuant to Article 54 of the party's constitution, the National Executive Committee has approved the following general provisions under Section H of the guidelines for the elections. 1. Any person seeking to contest for a party position who currently holds an office to which he or she was appointed by the president or government must resign from that office at least 6 clear months before filing nomination forms. I take that again. Any person seeking to contest for a party position who currently holds an office to which he or she was appointed by the president or government must resign from that office at least 6 clear months before filing nomination forms. 2. Chairpersons or members of boards or persons in an analogous position are exempt from this restriction. Why? Because they are not full-time employees. So those who are full-time employees are affected. And the following are those who are affected. The affected officers under paragraph 1 include, they are not limited to: A. Ministers and deputy ministers. B. Chief executive officers, managing directors, their deputies, or analogous officers. C. Metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executives. So those are the 3 main categories that we mentioned. I take them again. The affected officers under paragraph 1 include, they are not limited to: A. Ministers and deputy ministers. B. Chief executive officers, managing directors, their deputies, or analogous officers. C. Metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executives. Now, the official guidelines for the elections will from today be made public. So all of you will be able to have access to it. Now, for the avoidance of doubt and for absolute clarity, those intending to contest at the constituency level who fall in the category I just mentioned, the three categories I mentioned, those intending to contest at the constituency level shall resign by April 2026. Those intending to contest at the regional level shall resign by May 2026. And those intending to contest at the national level shall resign by June 2026. These provisions are firm, constitutional, and we enforce without exception. So please don't even bother to come and see whether you can plead to be exempted. There's no plea in this matter.
Viewers, I'm not a soothsayer and I'm not a prophet, but I can assure you that there's going to be a court case on this one. There's going to be several challenges to this, and eventually there may even be a court case on it. But now let's get into the details. Fiifi Kwetey says that if you want to be an officer of the party, so that means a polling station, I think they call it ward. The ward officers, constituency officers, regional. So that means regional chairman, regional secretary, regional deputy secretary, and the women's organizer and the youth organizer are going to be in a separate election, but they're also part of it. And then the national. Very interesting. Now, my first take on this matter, viewers, is the exemptions. The exemptions are so interesting. If you look at the personalities that have been exempted, you will see the point I'm making. Now, Fiifi Kwetey says that ministers, deputy ministers, chief executives, deputy chief executives, and those appointed in analogous positions, that means those appointed in similar positions. So, for instance, executive director. You are not a chief executive and you're not a deputy chief executive. You are an executive director. So President Mahama appoints, apparently there's one at Ghana Commercial Bank. I think President Mahama has appointed somebody at Ghana Commercial Bank. He's like an executive director, something like that. So President Mahama appoints an executive director to maybe a Greek Development Bank where there's already an MD and a deputy MD. That person is in an analogous position. So that's just an example. Okay. Now, I'm tempted to go to the exemptions, but let me now go to those that have obviously been affected by this decision. Fiifi Kwetey is not affected. So, George Opariado. Now, what it means is that if George Opariado, who is the national youth organizer of the party, he won an election, he was elected the national youth organizer of the party, coming into office, President Mahama has given him an appointment. He is the Minister for Employment and Manpower and all of that. Youth employment, manpower, something. Quite a nice portfolio. That's George Opariado. George Opariado continues to be the national youth organizer of the party today. His tenure is ending this year. Now, George Opariado has come into this position because he had been working with the youth during the campaign. So President Mahama has put him into this position so that the youth will find expression in government. The youth that George Opariado worked with, they will find expression in government through George Opariado's portfolio, which is concerning the youth. Now, George Opariado cannot continue to be a minister after May 2026 if he wants to continue as national youth organizer. I'm sure George Opariado, who has only done, I think he's done one term in the position. I stand to be corrected. I think it's one term. George Opariado, who's done one term in the position, now he wants to do another term. Fiifi Kwetey's rules, which is now the national executive rules, says that Opariado must resign from the thing in May so that he can contest in November. If he wins, he remains there. He doesn't become a minister anymore. Wow. This is going to be interesting. So Opariado, gone. I can't see in Ghanaian politics how Opariado will say, I'm resigning from minister to go and run for party when the party is in government. The party is in government. So why is he going to? I mean, the government is more important than being in the party. All the party's efforts was so that they will be in government. Now they are in government, he's part of government, he should leave the government and go and do the party that is in government. How? Nobody will do that. So Opariado, down, out. He's not going to become, he's either going to leave the ministry to continue as national youth organizer to win another election, which I think he won't do. He'll be there. So he's no longer going to be the NDC's. All the experience he has, he keeps it in government. Another person becomes the national youth organizer to control the party. I'll tell you more about this. Opariado, down, out. Sami Jemfi, in fact, he has already said that he doesn't want to run as PR for the party anymore. He's already said it. As soon as the party won elections, he said, I'm not interested. I'm going to sell gold. It's better. I'm not interested in this party thing. I'm shouting then, Paul, I don't want you to be mentioning my name. Then they are calling me on news file. And I just want gold and do my work. Please, I want peace of mind. I'm tired of this KK every day. My phone is ringing. Every time they are calling me from a table, all radio stations have access to my phone. My WhatsApp doesn't sleep. Now I'm selling gold. I did all that so that we come to power. We are in power. President Mahama has given me a very important responsibility to protect the city. That is what I want to do. Party. Bye-bye. Okay, so he's gone. So not much to say about him. He's gone. He says he's not interested anymore. He's gone. All right. This is the big one. Malik Basintale. He has to leave the work. Fiifi Kwetey said he should leave that place and wait. 6 clear months, 6 months, a whole 6 months. Get out of the place, 6 months. Come and run he's a Deputy National Communications Officer. Yes. He's a Deputy National Communications Officer. So he's Amidjefi's deputy. Basintale has not even done a quarter of what he wants to do in the party level. He has not done much. He was just exposed by election 2024 and railroaded into this position, and he was coming on Good Morning Ghana. He hasn't even paid Metro TV the dues that he has to pay because Basintale was discovered on Metro TV. Without Metro TV, nobody knew Basintale. It is Metro TV, Good Morning Ghana. He has still not come to pay it. If you see him telling that, I'm saying that the management of Metro TV is waiting for him. Since that we have made him minister, he should come and do something for us. Anyway, so that's Malik Basintale. He's a CEO of YE. Basintale has to leave. He has to leave the office and then become party. That's going to be a critical decision. How is President Mahama going to relate to this decision? I'll tell you that in a minute. So Basintale, trouble. Next. This one is part of my other analysis. So let me jump it and come back. Let's see who is there. This one too is part of my other analysis. Let me jump it and come back. Mustafa Gbande kept saying on Joy FM this evening that when they hadn't asked him any question, well, they had asked him a question, but it wasn't related. He said, he used the phrase about 3 or 4 times in 2 minutes. It's not about me. It's not about me. It's about the party. Do you know why he was saying that? Because this is indeed about him. It is about him. All this is about... He wants to run for General Secretary against Fiifi Kwetey. So this is about him, Mustafa Gbande. He's currently the Deputy General Secretary. He wants to become General Secretary. Fiifi Kwetey wants to maintain his position as General Secretary. Basintale, my friend Mustafa Gbande, wants to be the General Secretary. He has to be kicked out of that Jubilee House because he's Deputy Director of Operations at the Jubilee House. He's Deputy Director of Operations. His portfolio is quite important and quite serious. He does all kinds of things. He manages the party, the Kwetey by-election. It was he who managed it straight from Jubilee House. So all of this is about him. Number one, critical is about him. First, he started the campaign to remove Fiifi Kwetey. Fiifi Kwetey says, you want to remove me? Remove yourself from Jubilee House for 6 months and see whether you get 1 vote. That's the matter. There's no other matter. That's the matter. So when you heard Mustafa Gbande on Joy FM repeating, this is not about me. It is about him. It's about him. It's part of it. So that's a very complicated one. Does he want to remain Deputy General Secretary? Does he want to become General Secretary? He has to leave the Jubilee House. 6 months. Fiifi Kwetey is a very brutal guy. Okay. Ofusampofu is here. So now, let me go to the other side of the story. Okay. So this is the other story. The reason why the exemptions are there, and the reason why Fiifi Kwetey had to explain the exemptions, is because he knows that as part of the exemptions, some people may think that there's a dishonesty in the equation. Some people may think so. They may think that there's a dishonesty in the equation. Because you say that minister is affected, deputy minister is affected. Now, why are these rules set up? These rules are set up because you want to have a level playing field. You want everybody to stand at the same level. You want people's talents and ambition and vision for the party to be evaluated devoid of what position they hold in government. Because when you hold a position in government, it can cloud the idea, the vision of the delegates. You may have better access to resources because every candidate must have resources. Every candidate must raise some resources. That's fundamental to democracy and politics. You must raise resources, okay? So if you can't raise resources, you cannot be a candidate. Now, the raising of resources is also part of the skill that is being assessed by delegates. So if a person is a minister, he may not even need to raise the resources as a credible candidate. He can cajole it. You can cajole the resources using your power in the government. So that's the real reason. Now, if you are talking about resources in terms of who can get resources, and therefore we don't want those who cannot get resources those who can get resources to compete with those who cannot get resources. If really that's your concern, this man is the chairman of the board of one of the biggest banks in Ghana, the Ghana Commercial Bank. This is the chairman of the board. Joshua Alabi, former presidential candidate. He may want to be presidential candidate again. He may want to be party chairman. He may want to be something. But he is exempted. Fiifi, Kwetey, and Asiedun Ketia. I'll come to Asiedun Ketia. You give me Alabi. Fiifi, Kwetey, and Asiedun Ketia have sat down together, two clever men, and they have developed this scenario. And they have excluded people. And I'm coming to tell you the main person why they are doing this. Joshua Alabi is chairman of the board of the Ghana Commercial Bank. Ghana Commercial Bank is the biggest bank. The chairman of the board is such an important decision maker. His influence in the government is bigger than plenty deputy ministers. His influence could be bigger than many ministers. Ghana Commercial Bank is a multi-million-dollar bank listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange, so important to the Ministry of Finance. Fiifi, Kwetey says that a man can be board chairman of Ghana Commercial Bank and compete with me, who is in Labadi, Ladade Kotopon, or Kojo Sadi, Lajoae, or Teate. I mentioned the Labadi areas of the constituency for you. The market area is called Lajoae, and then you have Teate, which is in the middle there. Labadi, so if I'm from Labadi, I'm from Teate, near Wizards Park. I'm an NDC man. Everybody knows me in the area. They call me Slow. That's my name. Slow. Everywhere I go, Slow. But I don't have money. But I have influence. And I want to be the Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the party. And Joshua Alabi too wants to be the Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the party. Fiifi, Kwetey is telling me that if Joshua Alabi is a minister, he should step down 6 months before. If Joshua Alabi is a deputy minister, he should step down 6 months before. If Joshua Alabi is a chief executive of Ghana Exim Bank, like Sylvester Mensah, and I'm bringing Sylvester Mensah in because I'm talking about Labadi, like Sylvester Mensah, he should step down. But chairman of the board should not step down. Huh? What is this? What is he talking about? What is Fiifi, Kwetey talking about? The chairman of GCB should not step down. Chairman of GMPC, he can continue. Chairman of Cocoa Board, he can continue. Okay, let me give you an interesting scenario. So Sylvester Mensah is the chief executive of Exim. He has a board chairman. Assuming that Sylvester Mensah wants to be Greater Accra Regional Chairman of NDC, and his board chairman too wants to be Greater Accra Chairman of NDC, the point Fiifi, Kwetey is making is that Sylvester Mensah will have to step down, but the board chairman continues. Viewers, can you think of something like that? I'm chief executive. You are board chairman. We are all Exim Bank. We all want to be Greater Accra Regional Chairman. Me, chief executive, step down. Board chairman, remain. How lopsided. And do you know why? It is because of Johnson Asiedun Ketia. This whole matter is to protect Asiedun Ketia. He is chairman of GAPOHA, Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. The chairman therein is more influential than many ministers. But he gets to keep his position. This is the problem with our democracy. The democracy that is founded on intelligent men sitting together and cooking something for themselves. Intelligent men. They sit together, they cook something for themselves. Asiedun Ketia is board chairman of GAPOHA. Board chairman, GAPOHA. He can keep his position. He should keep it and come guide himself to the chairmanship again. And then from there, he'll guide himself to the presidency. You are minister, get down. You are deputy minister, resign. You are chief executive, resign. You are deputy executive, resign. But Asiedun Ketia, chairman of GAPOHA, protected. This is the politics. This is the kind of politics, I can assure you, with the democracy that we have, this Fiifi, Kwetey and NEC decision is going into a challenge. It's going to be massively challenged. But how can chairman of GAPOHA remain? So chairman of GMPC remain. Chairman of Gov't remain. There are those board chairmen who are more influential than ministers. Board chairman. Cocoa board chairman is very influential. GAPOHA, board chairman is hugely influential. GCB, board chairman is very, very influential. A few others. Did I mention GMPC already? Yeah. National Petroleum Authority, board chairman. If you are going into a contest, in a parliamentary contest, for instance, if you want to be a parliamentary candidate for the NDC, or you want to be a regional somebody, or you want to be a national somebody, and you are competing with the chairman of MPA, oh, forget it. MPA, he has all the petrol stations under control. He can call a petrol station that, look, I'm going to campaign at Tebubu. Charlie Mo Wenfa. Charlie Mekwate will say, oh, chairman, how are you? Say, I'm going to Atebu. Charlie, you have to help your chairman. They will help the chairman. Me, who is from Ladade Kotopon or from Teshi, I can't call anybody. They won't help me. Somebody is chairman of MPA. You say he should remain chairman of MPA to fight the battle. Asedun Ketia is chairman of Gapoha. Huge. Gapoha. He wants to keep his chairmanship, dancing around it. He will be doing his chairmanship. Gapoha is so important to the economy. Gapoha is one of the backbones of Ghana's economy. The Minister of Finance and the Minister of Transport, they are probably talking to Gapoha every day on a daily basis. They talk to Gapoha. And he's chairman over there. He's chairman. He's controlling all the ports and harbor, Takrade Port and Tema Port. Together, they are a multi-trillion-dollar company. Asedun Ketia is chairman. And the Fiifi rules say that Asedun Ketia will remain chairman. If you are a minister, you have to go. Asedun Ketia there, he will be there. Oh my goodness, this is going to be very interesting over the weeks. I won't say much. We'll get there. Just to show you that there's a lot of conversation to be had about this. Mustafa, how are you, my brother? You promised that after some time, but, how are you doing? Okay. All right. That's Mustafa Agbande. He's my friend. When you see him, ask him. He'll tell you how he's my friend. We made friends in Asin North. Was it Asin South we went to? The by-election. Yeah, that's where we had a whole long chat throughout the night. At the time, he was telling me that they will win the election and they will win 2024 and we will see. That's what he told me. So that's Mustafa Bande. But viewers, I hope you are getting what I'm saying. I mean, you can call me Diufiasem. It's not my matter. Yeah, I will accept that. But this is democracy and this is politics, and we have to be interested. If you are making the rules, make the rules so that no one feels that these rules have been made in favor of somebody. These rules, announced by Fiifi Kwetey today, was made in favor of Johnson Asiedu Nketia.